here, you guys can move around. Hello, my name is Charles Martin Van Camp. I was born in Little Chute, Wisconsin on September 29th, 1924 to Martin and Minnie Van Camp. I grew up on Wilson Street, and I acquired a nickname of Chubby from my older brother, Rich. Rich is 12 years older than I am, and also became part of the military just like me. He enlisted into the Marines in 1943. He was stationed in San Diego and remained there until his death in '95. I also have a younger brother, James Van Camp. We call him Jimmy. He's 4 years younger than I am. Jimmy retired from Sears Roebuck after working 40 years. Jimmy has 7 children with Patricia Scherer Van Camp from Combined Locks. My nieces and nephews are Charles, James, Lori, Annie, David, Robert, and Monica Van Camp. Jimmy passed away in '91 at the age of 62. My father, Martin, lived for 89 years and had worked for Kimberly Clark for 40 years until he retired. He passed away in '72. My mother, Minnie, lived for 59 years and spent the last several years in a hospital before her death in '49. I attended St. John's grade school and graduated from St. John's in '42. At 17, I enlisted into the Navy on August 13th, 1942. My first assignment was Naval Station Great Lakes in Great Lakes, Illinois. On my first night, I can remember how we had a heck of a time sleeping in the hammocks. All you could hear was boys falling out. I didn't though, so that's a good thing. We later became responsible for lashing our own hammocks. I tried to get to Mass as often as I could. My first days in the service consisted of sanding the floors and general cleanup. I can remember getting my shots and how sore my arm was. I was so excited when I passed my swimming test, and sadly today I'm taking another swimming test. I also received a package from my family that day. It was a money belt from my dad and brother Rich. I was always exhausted during boot camp, which consisted of putting in a full day's work, along with marching from 2 to 4:30 and from 6:30 to 7:30. At night, I seemed to manage studying and doing my wash. For entertainment, I found time to roller skate, go to movies, go dancing, and go to happy hour to listen to music. I remember listening to the best music in the world. I heard one of the Orrin Tucker's band's members on September 11th. I got my first pay of $10 and also had my graduation picture taken. On November 29th, I started the Aviation Ordnance School, which means I must pass, and I did. And I had to pass 11 tests. On Liberty, I visit big cities like Milwaukee, Chicago, and Boston, and always seem to meet swell girls, if you know what I mean. However, I most enjoy taking Liberty to Little Chute, where I find my special girlfriend, Rosemary Sprangers, and best buddy, Bob Bongers. In February 1943, I was transferred to Norfolk, Virginia. Then in May of 1943, to Ocean Fields Naval Base, New Jersey, where we waited the commissioning of the new aircraft carrier USS Franklin, which occurred on January 31st, 1944. The USS Franklin became one of the most noteworthy and decorated aircraft carriers in the Pacific theater of war. The ship participated in many major conflicts, with the Japanese sustaining more kamikaze attacks than any other aircraft carrier. My fellow crew members certainly were part of what came to be known as the greatest generation. Like so many other young men in World War II, I met my death way too early. I met my Lord at 19 years of age. My parents received the following telegram from the Naval Department. The Navy Department deeply regrets to inform you of the death of your son Charles Martin Van Camp, Aviation Ordnance Man, 3rd Class USN on 31st March of 1944, as a result of injuries received while in the performance of his duty, and in the service of his country. No information available at present regarding disposition of remains. but by reason of existing conditions, burial at sea or in locality where death occurred, highly probable. If further information is received, you will be promptly notified. To prevent possible aid to our enemies, please do not divulge the name of the ship or station. The department extends to you its sincerest sympathy in your great loss. Vice Admiral Randall Jacobs, Chief of Naval Personnel. My body was returned home to Little Chute in '49. Being the first to return home after the war ended, photos were taken to the event, which have been passed around. These are photos of the funeral right here. I'd like to pass this around. This honor was not only extended to me, but other casualties of the war. I was proud to know that the Little Chute veterans honored my return by turning out en masse in full dress uniform, meeting my body at the train station, marching with me to the funeral home, and then to the church for a full military funeral. All my veteran comrades then marched with me to the cemetery, where I now lay at this very site. P.S. After my death, I was happy to know my best girlfriend Rosemary and boyfriend Bob married one another and had one son. My name is Aaron Hippis. I am a Little Chute drama student. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.